As of 2012, New Haven had a total of 1,870 violent crimes, which include 17 murders, 55 rapes, 844 robberies, and 954 cases of aggravated assault. Meanwhile, the New Haven School District strives to increase the graduation rate, which has just increased from 64.3% to 70.5%. Years, this local community has been affected by a number of youth murders, which include the death of Torrance Campbell, Jacob Kragetz, Sean Reeves, and many others. What is the link between school and violence?
After a while, you start to become a little bit numb. And how you process seeing something bad is just very different. And you might see someone, let's say, get, punched or hit, and rather than say, oh, that's something bad, you just kind of watch and say, oh, that's something that happened. I saw something like that yesterday. And you start to, it kind of can impact your relationships with others, because that's how you may start to resort to resolving conflict as well, because it all just seems very normal.
With an environment so engulfed in violent activity, the social climate definitely affects the learning process in the school system.
The influence of being cool and having fun takes away from, attention in class. And after school, you want to hang out with your friends, and you end up not doing your homework.
There were over 200 youth under the age of 18 shot in 1 year alone.
The social climate in the New Haven public school system is susceptible to violence, and many would like to know why.
That there is between maybe New Haven and the Branford is that unknown entity, and I can't speak on it, so I don't know what it is. I don't know why kids in New Haven and in our playgrounds, why it turns to be a little more violent. To, let's say, kids who grew up in Branford and in their playgrounds, you don't see that violence.
There have been some tragedies that's happened in Connecticut, and a few places in this city, and there are communities that are still being traumatized.
Graphics like this, many parents are concerned about the safety of their children in school. However, efforts have been put in place to combat these rising statistics.
One of the things we in New Haven Public Schools have been really interested in and really monitoring is our suspension rates and our expulsion rates, because we know that if a child is not in school, they're more likely to get into trouble. So one of the things we do is we have a program called YouthStat, and YouthStat identifies students who are at risk for dropping out of high school and have been in trouble before, and usually they also have really poor attendance. So what we do is we talk with the school principal, and we have a team, including community providers and all kinds of services. And so we meet with that child and his parent, and we hook them up with all kinds of services. Sometimes we get them a job, an internship, some type of special program to keep them motivated to stay in school so that they're not out in the street possibly committing crime.
There are other organizations that give people a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, but they're channeled in a more positive direction. For example, sororities and fraternities. There's a hierarchy involved in there as well, but it also gives the individual a sense of belonging and purpose, but channeled in a positive direction.
The reality of life is that sooner or later you're going to have to be responsible for your own actions, and you're going to have to face the consequences of not being a good student or not being a good person in general.
Something that, I don't understand how anybody can turn their back on it. When you're talking about children, sometimes these are children who are innocent bystanders, communities. There's a sense of humanity that I think gets lost when we stop talking about it.
New Haven has come a long way in its efforts to make schools safe, with the hopes that students realize the importance of life.